Hello, hello, fans of The Voice. This is AI Champ 08 here. So I have decided to do also uh, a recap of the solo performances on The Voice from last night. So I'm basically just going to recap the solo performances, going to give you my prediction on which person's going to go home from Team Adam, which one's going to go home from Team Usher, and it's going to be interesting. So let's get right into it. Last night's solo performances started with a performance of "Stay" by Rihanna from Amber Carrington, who is on Team Adam. I actually thought this was a very good performance because "Stay" is not one of the biggest standout songs that you could sing, but I think there was definitely a subtlety about Amber's performance that it really helped the performance shine and be a standout performance in the night in last night's performances last night. That's a little redundant. Last night's performances last night, yeah. But yeah, there was definitely a very nice subtlety about it. Yet she managed to really work that into the performance and make the lyrics really meaningful through that subtlety. But overall, even though it was the start of the show and you wouldn't expect it to be the best one, I actually think this was one of the best ones last night. It's very good. So next up we have Josiah Hawley with "Starlight" by Muse. Now I thought that Josiah was very good. I think that I love this. I love the fact that it was an up-tempo song choice, but I think, and I think he performed it and sang it very well. I think the only thing he has to watch out for with that kind of song choice is to not let the music overpower his vocals. And if he can do that, he's going to do very well in this competition. Next up was Sarah Simmons with "Angel" by Sarah McLachlan. I thought this was a very good performance because with her issue with her best friend passing away at one point, you could feel the emotion and pain through those lyrics, and I think that's what made it such a genuine performance and what made it so amazing to watch. The only thing that I would criticize with the vocals is trying to not let the high notes get in the way of the emotion that she has with the pain that you could hear through her voice in her lower register. But overall, another one of the best of the night and really strong performance. Next up was Kathia with "I Have Nothing" by Whitney Houston. Now I was very shocked when Usher said that Kathia was going to be doing this song, because I think that's a very big song to take on, and I think if you can do it, it's really good if you can do it. But if you have a hard time or you make mistakes, it will show. And I think Kathia did very well in the first half of it, but I think once she got through to the second chorus, I think you could hear her pushing the vocals, and I think it caused her vocals to go a bit shaky towards the end. So I think that sort of threw her off a little bit. Next up was Caroline Glaser with "The A-Team" by Ed Sheeran. Now I thought this was a very good performance. My only issue with Caroline was I felt like at the beginning she sort of seemed to be vocally trying to stray away from the melody of the song, and I feel like she should have just stuck with the melody from there. But I feel like overall it was a strong performance. It was solid. So next up after her was Vito with Against All Odds by Phil Collins. Now I thought this was very strong, and like Kafia, this is a very big song to do. And I think though Vito and Kafia both push with their vocals, I think Kafia pushed a little too much that it caused the vocals to go all shaky at the end. Whereas when Vito pushed, I think he did a good amount of pushing on his vocals, but he didn't do it too much. But the difference between him and Kafia is that he didn't do it too much that it made the vocals shaky, but he did just enough that it gave a good impact to the performance. And I think he did very well on this one. Next up was Michelle Shamuel with True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. This was very interesting because you can see through Michelle's personality that maybe she doesn't have the most belief in herself, not the most self-confidence. And I think this was a very good song choice just considering that. My only thing with Michelle is that it was very good that she started off like in a softer tone when she was singing. And I think she kind of amplified her voice a little more at the end, which was a good thing of sort of a light and shade effect. But I think maybe she could have amplified her voice at the end just a little more. Just a little more. But I think overall she really did a good job. And last up was Judith Hill with Feeling Good. Now, I've heard this song done many times by many different artists. I think a lot of people have. And I gotta say, this was a very unique rendition, just melodically. There was something different about it. It was not full on like the full band. It was not like you like some of the versions that you normally see with like a full band going. But it felt more like a soulful, jazzy feel to it. And I think Judith really made it work. And honestly, I remember her auditions. And I gotta say, she has really slammed it through that performance and up to now, and is still doing very well. And I would be very surprised if she didn't get through tonight. I mean, tomorrow night. My bad. Alright, so let's get through to who could be going home this week. So from Team Usher, I feel like definitely the best performance of the night, I'd say, was Vito, Michelle being close behind, and Josiah being the third one. So I think Kafia would be the one going home based on that. And then for Team Adam, I really feel like a lot of his performers were really standout performers. Unfortunately, I don't think Caroline quite matched up to them, and I feel like she will be the one heading home because of that. But I think Adam's team is really strong, so that's the only reason why Caroline could probably be heading home. Please tell me what you think. Please let everybody know what you think about who could be heading home, or if you disagree, maybe about the performances, about how they did. Please state what you think in the comments below this video. I would love to see that, and I think everybody else would too. Hope you have a good time watching tonight's performances, and I will definitely recap those tomorrow. Have a good one, and have a good day.